This is a clip from the Red Cow Arcade podcast.
While I was on break, we put on Jingle All the Way. Just needed to pop on a Christmas movie on Christmas morning. Christmas Day was great this year. It was like I spent the whole day at my house, which is the way my parents, I see my parents around the holidays, obviously, but they went up to Maine. And my sister invited me. She was like, do you want to go up to Maine? I was like, no, I don't want to travel on Christmas Day if I can help it. So we stayed home. Gloria didn't even open all her gifts like in one hit. She like opened three of them like at 2:00. So the whole day was just awesome. And so we wanted to pop on a movie. Nina decided Jingle All the Way. I'm watching it. First of all, the Blu-ray release, which is the rip that I have, has a lot of extra scenes in it that were not on the VHS. Oh. I'm like, what is this director's cut of Jingle All the Way? But most notably, like The Big Show, I think that might have been.
Oh, yeah.
But The Big Show is like one of the Santas, and it's clear that they had to get him because they needed somebody to tower over Arnold Schwarzenegger. And he may be the only one that can. But anyway, so I'm watching it and I'm going, this movie's pretty solid. Like, they've got to work with Arnold here, who is not your best for this kind of work. And like Sinbad was such a relic of the era, but Phil Hartman is hysterical in it. And the movie actually does kind of the conceit, it was a Power Rangers like toy, and that would have been right for the time. And it kind of held together, actually. I was like, this is pretty good. And then there's this.
It's kind of like made in like the kind of the Furby era where there was like that must-have toy. Tickle Me Elmo.
Yeah. And, it was on the mind, too, because of 8-Bit Christmas, which has this kind of a similar conceit. But then there's this third act where they go to, like, the Christmas parade in town, and Turbo Man is going to be on the parade, and through a comic mishap, Arnold ends up as the Turbo Man, and then they have, like, a real, like, just a batshit fight throughout the town.
Yeah, he has, like, a real jetpack for some reason.
Yeah. Fly, Turbo Man, use your jetpack. And I'm like, man, this fucking third act really goes off the rails. And I was just thinking, I was like, well, when they pitched it, they must have only pitched the second act. That's all that matters to anybody. That's all that matters to the marketing is like Arnold Schwarzenegger's going to try to find a toy and it's going to be funny. And it's like, well, how does it end? Like, who gives a fuck? So I look into it because I'm like, this is like not total trash. Like, this looks like it was directed by somebody who meant to direct it. And I find that the director is a gentleman by the name of Brian Levant. And I go, what else has Brian Levant done? Well, he's done a few things, but he did two things that stuck out way in my mind as like, those are two other major 90s children's movies for me. Beethoven and the Flintstones movie with John Goodman.
Right.
Now, I think both of those are good, like quite good in the same exact way. I think Jingle All the Way is quite good. Like they all have that same level of like, yeah, this works for what it is. And they all have a batshit third act.
Yeah, I don't remember the third act of either Beethoven or Flintstones. I've seen both movies when I was a kid. I've not seen them.
Because it doesn't matter. But you know what? They're basically like, look, much like Jingle All the Way, Beethoven exists for one reason. So that Charles Grodin can get messy. It's like, oh my God, I don't want a slobbering dog in my house. It's just that. It's like
no.
There's a montage where Beethoven's muddy and he's getting shit all over the place. And I'm like, this is the whole movie. This is the thing they pitched with this montage. And then they have to wrap a whole 90 minutes around it. And so the question is, can you? Like, are you up to the task? But yeah, the third act is like, there's like a mad scientist who wants to kill dogs. Like... and they have to fight him. They end up killing him, basically. Like, the family kills him. It's bad shit.
they all pitch in and kill him.
Yeah, they're like, no, Beethoven, and then they kill this guy.
The 90s were a simpler time.
And can I add, there's two burglars in it, like dog burglars, and it's Oliver Platt and Stanley Tucci. Like, you know, they weren't like just some bullshit character actors from the 90s. These are like real dudes, like real actors. And then Flintstones is kind of the same, where Kyle McCullough from Dune and from Twin Peaks. Yeah, from David Lynch movies. He's the bad guy. He's like the boss at the
I remember
company.
him being like the boss, and wasn't Halle Berry like his like hot servant or something?
Yeah, she was sexier in that movie than she's ever been in her whole life. I mean, she's obviously a very attractive woman, but there's something extremely hot about her in the Flintstones. At least I thought so at the time.
It's still
but maybe I've grown out of the Halle Berry type. But yeah, the third act is like they got to kill the boss. Like they got to kill this guy.
The whole family of people could murder somebody for messing with their dog.
That's why, like, I remember being on the schoolyard and somebody would be like, "I'm going to kill you," and the teachers would be like, "You never say that. That's the worst thing you can say." And I was like, "Come on, man!" Like in Beethoven, the whole family killed the mad scientist. I'm like, "I'm going to kill you" is kind of a like I get it. It's like it's a comic thing. It's not. We know the difference between killing mad scientists and killing our friends.
Well, I'm going to go to the arcade and play Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, exactly.
Subscribe to Red Cow Entertainment on Patreon for full episodes every other week.